What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to the PPP Goes Retroactive and your $10,000 EIDL grant and 24 months of working capital update. It is Hump Day. Happy Hump Day to you. April the 21st, 2021. Please do me a favor. Give this video a thumbs up. Hashtag EIDL with your comments. Boy, oh boy. Are you watching what's going on Twitter? At Try Small Biz. That's Try Small Biz. Username Small Biz Inc. Folks, I am tweeting at least 12 or 13 times a day. And if you'll notice what I keep saying, I am foreshadowing what's about to happen with respect to votes on the Senate floor, or I don't know, an article or two that might be coming out in the Wall Street Journal / Forbes magazine. You guys have to follow me. If you're not on Twitter, please, you got to go there at Try Small Biz. Every time I post, and again, it's at least 12 times a day, make sure you like it, do the retweet, and if you want to add a comment, do so, because we are being heard. We are being heard in the biggest possible way you could ever imagine. Folks, didn't I tell you about 3-4 weeks ago that James Rivera was working on a project to get the loan caps back to $2 million? That's exactly what Miss Isabel Guzman told Jackie Rosen in a letter 2 weeks later. Didn't I tell you 48 or 72 hours ago, there was a rumor out there that the PPP was going to get extended until the end of June, if not later. And then what happens last night? Big Ben Cardin, Susan Collins, and others come up with a bill to retroactivate PPP, something I've been calling for nonstop on Twitter over the last 6 or 8 weeks. And if that's not enough, they're going to base it on gross sales. Do you realize what that means for a lot of you? Again, Max Maher, JJ the CPA, those are your PPP experts, but we're talking about massive amounts of money. So much money. Here's another rumor for you. They may be adding $50 billion to the PPP fund when they do an extension. Currently, Big Ben Cardin'S bill does not add more money, but there's only $44 billion left in there. So there was a lot of chatter this afternoon that, wait a second, not only does Schumer have to hurry the fuck up and get the bill onto the floor of the Senate so they can get it out to the people in time for the May 31 cutoff, but if they retroactivate, and that's what the bill calls for, and they base it on gross sales instead of gross profit, $44 billion is probably not going to be enough. So here's the deal. There may be an addendum to the bill that Cardin put forward by somebody else to add upwards of $50 billion, or they may just add it in the infrastructure bill, $2.2 trillion, which they're trying to bring to the floor through reconciliation, meaning they don't need any Republican votes in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So here's the bottom line. I don't even know if I said pull up a chair, grab coffee. I think I did, ladies and gentlemen. But look, how many times do I have to tell you something's about to happen before it happens? I mean, I've been on a roll lately, and I told you something was going on with PPP before anybody. In fact, I had people on Twitter saying, well, why would they ever extend it? They're running out of money. Because I know some things that you don't, pal. That's the answer to that question. So look, be on the lookout for an extension of the PPP and potentially upwards of $50 billion being added in so that when everybody tops off based on gross sales instead of gross profit, there's enough money there to get to especially the smaller of small businesses. In the remaining time that I have today, I don't have any new news on the targeted EIDL advance. We still have about 13% that claim they've gotten the money, another 4 or 5% that are approved or in process. The SBA has finally acknowledged, thank you very much, that when it goes from approved to error, it is in fact a glitch. They're working on fixing it. They claim it's not going to affect anybody's ability to get your money, so you got to be patient there. But as I said yesterday, that means 85% of you, includes guys like me, all you folks in middle-income communities, and I want to say probably 500,000 that are in low-income communities, you're in that purple zone, 85% have not gotten a dime, nor have they been approved. So Big Ben Cardin, who's finally coming around, ladies and gentlemen, pointed out in his press conference or in his comments last night when he introduced this bill, the SBA is overwhelmed. Tell us something we don't know, Big Ben Cardin, but there's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Isabel Guzman, she was quoted in Forbes magazine today. I tweeted about it about an hour ago. She's a champion, folks. I know you're frustrated. I know some of you don't think she's got your best interests at heart. I'm convinced she does. But she is stepping into a behemoth, an archaic bureaucratic system that goes back many, many decades. Don't forget, they've funded more people in terms of loans, 3.7 million in the last 12 months than the last 50 years combined. So they're overwhelmed. They've got the live venue portal that they're trying to bring up. They're about to launch the 21-day pilot for the restaurant fund. You got 24 months of capital. We're supposed to hear within the next week or so. And then, of course, you have the $5,000 supplemental. That email is supposed to go out before Friday. So what is that? About 5 or 6 balls they have in the air. And it's going to take, at the rate they're going, barring a miracle, 3 or 4 months for all of us to look back and say, okay, we all got our $10,000. We all got 24 months of working capital. It's looking like 3 or 4 months. But let me focus on the God complex is what I like to call it at the SBA. It's like any other organization, right? You've got great loan officers that are going to bend over backwards, and you have these prick motherfuckers that seem to get a kick out of denying people. Like I just said on Twitter, these loan officers are looking for ways to not get you money instead of looking for ways to get you the money. And this bullying and discrimination, I ain't standing for it. So record every call, keep a copy of every email, every correspondence, every ridiculous request that they ask you for, because it's ammunition as we build 100, 200, 400, 500 car pileup where we can take it to a judge and or a jury and say, look what they said here. Look at why they asked this guy. Folks, listen to this. I need you to pose with your driver's license up next to your face. Can you believe that? I can get a mortgage for $1 million right down the street in Atlanta, Georgia, and they're just going to say, send me a copy of your driver's license front and back. Well, this one loan officer who I couldn't even find on any social media site nor in a Google search, but it was legit at an SBA.gov, and the phone number did work because I called it and that person's name came up. I need you to pose with your driver's license up next to your face and send me a copy of front and back. I've heard other things like, we need a 12-month business plan. What the fuck does a business plan have to do with me getting the other 18 months of working capital that Miss Isabel Guzman offered me? And then perhaps most ridiculous of all, as I mentioned on Twitter this morning, you've got 2 days to get back to me. Oh, so what happens if I'm in the hospital? Or what happens if I'm on vacation? Or what happens if I don't check my email address every hour on the hour and I don't get back to you, Mr. or Mrs. Loan Officer, within 48 hours? And the deadline, by the way, was noon, 12 p.m. East Coast time. So what happens if I don't get back to you with all the documents by then? What? Then you're going to say, fuck you, you're not getting your loan? I have called and emailed the SBA. I'm in the process of calling and emailing all of the congressmen and women that you see me tag and ambush on a daily basis. I ain't having this. I am not going to stand, now that I am founder and CEO of Small Biz Inc., and we are building the #1 small business network, and we do represent over 100,000 strong on social media. I ain't going to stand for this motherfucking bullying and discrimination of asking some people, just send us a 45016 in your taxes from 2019. But then you take somebody who's Hispanic or somebody who might be African American and you say, I want A, B, C, fucking D, E. I ain't having it. I ain't having it. I'm already irritated enough. The old blood pressure's already cranked up high enough. But Miss Isabel Guzman, I have tremendous respect. But if you don't get your loan officers in line and start giving the small business owner that you claim to be a champion of the respect that we deserve, we have no choice but to bring the largest class action lawsuit in the history. And if you think I can't crank up the volume with respect to all of the discrimination and the bullying that's going on, I need you to try me, because Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Forbes, you have my contact information. I want to be interviewed live on camera, preferably, and there'll be no edits if you do something in writing without my permission first. So until next time, I got your back. I love you, and thanks for watching.